Open mouth, exhale.
Shaq kills it. Like, Shaq goes in there, he kills it. He's like on point with everything. Like, I'm still trying to keep up with what the instructors say.
You got this. Plant your knees on your elbows. You got it.
I got it.
Look, Shaquille, you got it, you got it, you got it. Good job.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
Yoga's been great, man. It's really helping me to move a lot better. It's opening up my hips a lot. I can't get all the poses in there. I be trying to do some of the stuff that people be doing in front of me, standing on their heads and stuff, but I just stick to my limits, you know.
Take a deep inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hands at your heart.
I still get calls from guys that did it 4 or 5 years ago, like, hey coach, I went to hot yoga today. We really believe in it as just a tool in our program.
Shaquille Cleare making the most of his final season on the 40 acres. The minutes have gone up. This is senior year, and production has gone up across the board, including the free throw percentage, 87% from the line, one of the best from the charity stripe on this Texas Longhorns team. We saw him a little bit ago doing a little bit of yoga. Tell us what Shaq Cleare is like, not just the guy on court, but the guy that you get to know away from it.
He's really one of the most unique guys I've ever coached, Lowell. First of all, he's from the Bahamas, as you know. So anytime a guy grows up in a different culture, they bring a little bit different perspective and approach. And his is terrific. He is, first of all, a very team-oriented guy. One thing that a lot of people don't know about him is he has a very, very good work ethic.
Yeah.
And he's famous for being in Cooley, our practice gym and our weight room at odd hours of the night. Sometimes, you know, over the summer or in the preseason or even during the season, you might go in there at 9, 10, 11 or even later at night to get a little work done or get a lift in, and Shaq will be in there getting work done, or he'll be upstairs on the gun. He's a really, really good worker. And then the other thing about him is he's very, very cerebral. He's got a good mind to him. One thing I'm super excited about is he will graduate in May.
Awesome.
You know, Shaq's a guy that academically, just like basketball-wise, puts in a lot of work. And he spends a lot of time on the 5th floor, the north end zone, with our academic folks, and really, really is diligent about putting the time in with his schoolwork. I told him this. I said, when you graduate, we're going to make a really big deal out of it.
Well, he is a big deal. He's got that big, booming bass.
Yeah.
It seems like, though, he's a very good communicator. What he says always drives home the point. What does that communication mean to this entire team?
Well, Shaq does not talk a lot. You know, he's one of those guys that carries a big stick, but doesn't always open his mouth. But every time that he does, it's very, very valuable for our team. I remember going into the Alabama game in December. We had lost a tough game before that. I actually lost a few games. And he spoke up in the team meeting and he talked about what his approach was going to be and how he was going to impact the guys around him. And I think it really affected everyone with what he said, but then more importantly, what he did the next 2 days in practice really set a tone for that next game.
I remember talking to Darren Horn at the beginning of the season and said that when Shaq would have some issues, it was just because he was going too fast. Seems like things have slowed down once he gets the basketball now and he starts to work in the low post. What have you seen in that way?
Well, first of all, you mentioned Coach Horn. He's done a phenomenal job with our bigs. I think, as a position coach last year with a different group of bigs.
Yeah.
This year with the group of bigs we have, Shaq being the one common denominator, Darren has done a phenomenal job. And I think as a unit, our bigs have really done a great job pulling for each other, working together to be a good team, because we really try to view our position groups as units, kind of like football does. But what Shaq has done is, like you said, the game has slowed down to him somewhat. He's taken his time more. Our bigs are seeing a lot of attention beyond just their man this year, not just Jarrett. Shaq is. I think Shaq's done a nice job against that, and him and Jarrett have played off of each other really well.
That's a great segue to our first clicker breakdown, because it is, in the most recent game against West Virginia, Allen and Cleare playing together.
Well, this is what we were talking about earlier, Lowell. When you play in West Virginia, the traps are going to come, and you don't know exactly when. So here, we pass out of the trap to Eric Davis. Eric finds Jarrett, and there's two different types of big guys. There's big guys that when they catch it, you don't want them to dribble. You just want them to hold it until they can make a pass. But both of these guys, Shaq and Jarrett, are guys that can put the ball on the floor, make plays for each other, and then Shaq has a nice finish here. So that was Jarrett to Shaq, and now
we're going
you
to flip
see
it.
Flipped around, Eric finding Shaq.
And he's working for the ball on this possession.
He's working, and he's done a really good job. I think he's actually taught Jarrett this, because Jarrett's getting better and better at it, at demanding the ball and working for the ball so that he can go get it. I mean, let's be honest. These two in this game were 12 for 16 from the field.
Yeah,
I told our guards
getting things
yesterday,
done.
I said, hey, if they're 12 for 16, then what happens instead of 16 times if they shot 32 times?
Yeah.
So we want to continue to get the ball to them more and more. But here Shaq gets it, and the play is, it's kind of an open floor situation because they had trapped Eric, and Shaq makes a great delivery and Jarrett a great finish.
Let's focus on more of Cleare's low post move, some of that patience we were getting into, some of the footwork as well, because for an underneath the rim player, and sometimes people, they scoff at that notion, I mean, it's fun to watch him go to work. He's very skilled, very crafty around the bucket.
He is, and he's a guy, when he gets single coverage in there, we really, really want to get him the ball because he's hard to guard. So here you see him on a pick and roll situation with Andrew Jones. Andrew does a nice job of delivering the ball when Andrew has two on him.
Okay.
And this is something that our guards early in the season had some struggles with, and got to give them credit. They are getting better and better at this.
Yeah.
Andrew is, Snoop is, Eric is. So we get the ball to Shaq. Iowa State rotates here. So now he's in a situation where he can make a back-to-the-basket move. And Shaq's a good finisher. I remember when I first got here, Lowell, we were doing one-on-one work in the post, and he was scoring at will on Cam Ridley. And, I looked at Darren Horn and said, this guy's a really good player. What happened last year was when it got to 5-on-5, he wasn't as good because some of the other attention overwhelmed him. He's doing a much better job of it this year, is having a feel for who else is on the floor. Here you see us throw the ball to him in transition. And again, anytime we can throw it ahead and get the ball into him, if the other team stays honest on the perimeter, now it's one-on-one inside.
Go work.
And we really want him to try to go score there. He can score it with his right hand. He can score it with his left hand. So here you see it again. Nice back-to-the-basket move. Want to continue to get him the ball as much as we can.
And he's made a lot of work improving, toning his body, and it seems like he really puts that body to use and to work, getting that position.
Like I said, he spent a lot of extra time in Cooley in the offseason. And one of the things that's come out of him improving his conditioning is having the ability to guard out on the floor, because sometimes, no matter what position you play, even if you're playing at the 5 spot, you're going to find yourself defending out on the floor because of transition situations, fixing it out of traps. So here he is guarding a guard, and he does a great job being in a stance, contesting a jumper. And those are plays. We will live with those contested shots. Now we can rebound and go. And that creates transition opportunities for us. Here you see him blocking a shot, all right, and being active, which, we really want him, we want all of our bigs, all right, to protect the rim and be very, very active around the basket because, again, sometimes guys are going to drive. This creates a break situation, and now we're off and running.
And Shaq Cleare setting that all up by protecting the rim. This is the way to go out. This is the senior season you want for a guy like Shaq Cleare.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lo, he's a guy that, again, has been very unselfish. Let's be honest. He's on a team right now with Kendall being out. He's out there playing with all these young
pups, yeah.
And it would be easy for him to say, man, these guys are not as mature as I am, or these guys are not – haven't done as, think about it. He's been in college 5 years. This is his 10th semester coming up. He's seen a lot of things. But I think he's doing a nice job of attacking each opportunity that he has and trying to help our team execute our plan.
Next opportunity for Shaq Cleare and this Texas team. A matchup coming up against the former #1, the Baylor Bears. We'll preview that matchup when we return on Game Plan with Shaka Smart.